I just wanted to see if I can do this challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into it now. What's up, guys? Today is going to be a special video for you. I'm going to give you 50 stock tips in 10 minutes. Let's hope I can get through them all. I just wanted to see if I can do this challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, real quick, before I do, I got these questions from the Chaos Crew folks. So if you want to be a part of that, get some questions answered and live Q&As that are private to that group, as well as a daily watch list for me. Go ahead and make sure that you're clicking that join button, and let's go ahead and get into it. So, question number 1, hit that timer now. Which brokerage do you use? I use 2. I use Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade. Those are my platforms of choice, but I am looking to build a public account with another brokerage like M1 Finance or maybe Webull. So if you guys have any suggestions, please leave me some comments below. How long have you been trading? I've been trading for 7 years. This one says, what is your biggest single day loss and what did you learn? So this is a little bit of a weird one. I actually sold for a loss of $7,500 in one day, but I actually lost the entire position size of 13 grand. Really, why I didn't take profits when I had them, I was up around $6,000 and then ended up being down $7,500 and selling for a loss of $7,500. That was just a terrible day. The biggest thing I could tell you to learn from is just take profits when they're given to you. Take the gifts that the stock market gives to you and run and laugh all the way to the bank. All right, this one says, what is your biggest single day gain and what did you buy? My biggest single day gain was over $20,000. It was somewhere around $23,000 when it was all said and done. I bought a penny stock back in the day. It was MSPC. The thing rocketed. It was absolutely crazy how much that moved. It was so much fun. I actually put a video on it like years ago when I first started this YouTube channel, and it was incredible. So, yeah, that was my biggest gain. Next one here is any tips on setting price targets and limiting losses. So I don't like to set price targets as far as actual selling is concerned. I like to scale in and scale out. So I look for appropriate areas of support and resistance to do that with, to make my entries on areas of support when I see bounces. And then as the stock continues to break resistance after resistance, I am scaling myself out in increments the same way that I made the entry. Next one is best indicators for charting. That's going to be RSI, no sure thing indicator, VWAP, and SMAs in there too sometimes. Next one is what candles do you like to see in order to pull the trigger on a trade? I don't know about this one. I really don't understand the question, but I'm just going to go with boner candles. Everybody loves a good boner candle. Let's go with that. Next question. How do you succeed in any market conditions? Managing risk. Taking smaller position sizes when the market's super volatile and we have no idea where it's going, and then increasing them as we start to get more bullish and things start to level out. Next one here is what do you look for in a company that you are buying? I'm looking at the balance sheet first. That's the first thing I go to. I'm looking at debt. I'm going to look at how much cash they have on hand. Those are the 2 most important things that I'm going to first. Question number 10 is how do you know when to take profits? And it really comes down to just personal experience and personal preference. Honestly, I mean, I'm to a point now to where it's almost kind of like intuition. Okay, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to start scaling out. But really, set yourself some goals. Set yourself a $100 a day goal or something like that to really start to get things motivated for you so you can really develop that discipline. And then you can kind of start doing what I do where it's more of like a momentum type thing, or if it's almost like breathing at this point. You're just scaling in, you're scaling out, rinse and repeat all day long. Number 11 here, this is a really good question. Any tips on being an investor and holding down a 9 to 5? So alerts are going to be your best friend, whether it's setting it for certain price alerts that you're looking for, support and resistances, all that good stuff. Setting yourself alerts will be your best friend, hands down, period. Number 12 here, how do you determine if a stock will beat earnings or not? Really comes down to the overall climate and what their balance sheets looks like. What did they do in the quarter before? What are the expectations now? Number 13 is how do you keep your hair so neat? Don't skimp on products. Number 14, do invest in emerging markets. I really shy away from mutual funds in general. I like to trade stocks, period. Number 15 is here, what disruptive tech are you most excited about? EVs. What else? Number 16, how big of positions do you typically take? I always suggest that people don't take any more than 20% of your account size, and really that's on the high end. Really want to keep it down to about 10% if you can. Number 17, what stock news sites do you recommend? Yahoo Finance is my go-to, CNBC, and Google Alerts as well, believe it or not. Number 18, do you trade full-time or have another job? I actually trade full-time, have been doing it now over 2 years. I can't believe 2 years have come and gone already. Unbelievable. Number 19 is a question I get a lot, and this is, how much money do I need to become a day trader? And really, you don't need a ton of money. And I actually kind of discourage, even if you have a large sum of money, don't use all of it. Start off with just a small amount of money. Anywhere between 3 and 5, I think, is going to set you up for the best possible success. If you have somewhere around 10, even better. But I really wouldn't go above that, because you start taking risks that you don't know you should be taking when you have a larger amount. So really start small, work your way up. I think that you'll be fine. Number 20 is, what is the most important key to having success in the market? It really comes down to self-awareness and having control over your emotions. Keeping your emotions in check and sticking to the plan are going to be essential to your success, period. Number 21, how many trades do you make per day? No more than 5 for me. It really is kind of rare that I even get up to 5 anymore, but I would suggest not over trading. Definitely give yourself a certain set of amount of trades you're going to make throughout the day, and try not to go over that. Number 22, what is PDT, or pattern day trader rule? It's essentially that you can't make more than 3 round trip trades within a 5 business day period. If you do, your account could be locked out for 90 days. Number 23 is, what number of stocks do you recommend as a part-time investor manage in an account? And it really just comes down to, what can you keep track of? I always have a rule of thumb, maybe 3 to 5. That seems to be what people can keep track of the most. But if you feel like you can keep track of more, then by all means. Number 24, what kind of car do you drive? I drive a 2006 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I love that specific generation. I have owned 3 of those. I could just beat them up. I love the simplicity of those TJ Jeeps. I am considering it a Wrangler, though, so leave some comments if you want me to go buy one. I'm really on the fence about it. Number 26 here is, are there better ways than others to trade during the week? And yes and no. I mean, there's no scientific evidence that says that, yes, this is a better day, or no, it's not. But Fridays are typically days that sell off, because there's a lot of people who don't like to hold over a weekend. So that does lend itself to some good opportunities to buy that F and dip. So definitely keep an eye on that. Next one, what are support and resistances? Support is when a stock comes down in price to an area that it is known to bounce off of. And so we're paying attention to that to try to see if there's going to be buying that comes off of that support. Same thing with resistance. It's just the opposite, looking to see if it gets up there and either gets rejected or breaks above that for a continuation. Next one is, how to use volume when trading, and it really comes down to unusual volume. Using your scanners to find out unusual volume to check out potential catalyst is really going to be your best friend. Next one, what time frames do you use on your charts? The 5-minute and 30-minute for intraday, and 4-hour and daily charts for long-term swings or even long-term investments. Number 30 is, how do you decide which stocks to day trade? As far as that's concerned, I think that this is going to be one that you're looking for volatility, and you're just looking to trade off a specific catalyst. And if there's nothing else that's coming down the pipe, if the story ends there, then you know that you need to be out by that time. Next one, how much of your account do you keep liquid? I try to keep my account liquid between 20 to 25% of my account size. That's a really good way to just store cash, especially if we do experience a crash of some sort, or a position that you see that actually comes down in price. It allows you to get in some cheaper shares, or if you see a really good opportunity. You always want to make sure you have liquidity to seize opportunities that you may not have foreseen. So that's always for the just in case. Next, what do you do for fun? I go golfing, I go fishing, and I love traveling. Next is, what is the best way to find potential for hot stocks? And really, scans.com is your best friend. It's the best scanner that money can buy, period. It's not cheap, but it's worth every penny, in my opinion. And I think that is the great place to look for to find great stocks to trade. Next, what is the leap like leaving from corporate to becoming a full-time trader? So I did work for an investment firm with over $1 trillion under management before I quit my job to do this full-time. And it was really, really scary. I had a good, stable job that I could retire on and be pretty wealthy doing that. But I wanted something more. And so I decided to do this, and it was the best decision I ever made. This is a really good question. How do you know how high a stock will go if it's at all-time highs? The simple answer is you don't. You just have to make sure you're keeping an eye on momentum and getting out and scaling out when it's appropriate. I don't know how this relates to stocks, but who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Hey, Steve, do you know who it is?
Hell yeah!
I thought you did. Number 37, do you think trading is gambling? And no, I don't. I think that if you're going to do the work and actually look at good companies and buy them because of the companies that they are, I don't think it's gambling at all. When you're starting to get your emotions involved and really just throwing money at something without even paying attention to it or even knowing what you're buying, then yes, that is gambling. Next question is, what does FANG stand for? And that's going to be Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, or Alphabet. Number 39, do you trade ETFs or index funds? No, I don't, because I like the potential of trading individual stocks for more profit. Next one, what type of trading accounts do you have? I have 2. I have one for a long-term growth, and then I have another one where I do a lot of my day trading or short-term swing trades on that account. So I have 2 different ones. My Charles Schwab is my long-term account. TD Ameritrade is a shorter-term account. Next one is any tips on when you should take profits and when to get out of a stock. And it really just comes down to a plan before you even push the buy button. Knowing how you're going to exit, whether it goes your way or not, is going to be the ultimate way for you to be able to find success. So sticking to that plan before you push the buy button is super crucial. Next is how many stocks should I have on my watch list each day? And it really kind of depends on what you feel like you can keep track of. If it starts to be too overwhelming, then scale it back. I mean, I would start with 10 and see where you can go from there. Next one is, if markets are at their highs, should I wait for a crash to even invest? No, you shouldn't. I think that you should just continue to invest, because if you're investing in good companies and then you're able to average down and buy on those dips, then I think that you're going to be just fine. It's just making sure that you're getting into really good, solid companies that you really believe in and having a plan. That's going to set you up for the best possible success. That, and there's nothing that's saying that they can't go higher, because we see that all the damn time. Just because the stock is at its highs doesn't mean it can't go higher. Same thing if it's at its lows, though, right? If it's low, doesn't mean it can't go any lower. So just make sure you're managing risk and you know what you're getting into, and you'll be just fine. Next one is, how long do you typically hold on to a stock? And it really kind of depends. How many hours a week do you typically trade? It really comes down to probably about 5 to 10 hours a week. Just depends on what's going on in the market. Next one's, which filings are important? It's going to be your 10Ks, your 10Qs, your 8Ks, and Form 4s. What is dilution and why does it matter? And it really just comes down to a stock that is looking to raise capital, and the only way they have to do that is by selling shares in the stock in the form of an offering or convertible debt. So whenever you see that convertible debt on a balance sheet, it's not a good thing for you. What do you look for when evaluating a company's financials? And it really comes down to that last question, is just looking at convertible debt and really understanding how much they have and can it be overcome, as well as cash on hand. If you were a wrestler, what would your tagline be? It would be, buy the and dip, of course. Last one here is, can anybody be successful in the stock market? And I say yes. You just have to really be disciplined and be self-aware. Make sure that you're not getting into it just to gamble, and you'll be just fine. Anybody can invest in the stock market, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not only that, but getting yourself educated is super key. So if you want to be a part of the community here, make sure you're clicking the join button or coming on over to WeTrade HQ. That's going to do it for me. Hopefully I got it in 10 minutes. I have no idea. We'll find out after I get done editing this. But guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. Do you want to see more videos like this one? Do you like this kind of like rapid fire content? Let me know down below. And as always, folks, I will see you all before the bell, and B Smith is out.